They want you to believe black people were waiting to be saved, that freedom came from somewhere else, that there were no kings, no emperors, no commanders who stood up and said, "Not today." That is the lie they built your history books on, and it is a lie. Because there were black rulers in this world who won, who actually won, who built fortresses and crowned themselves and defeated the most powerful armies on the planet. And the world did not celebrate them. The world buried them. Not because they failed, because they succeeded. And that scared everybody with something to lose. Today we are going inside the story they erased. The black kings, queens, and commanders who built kingdoms with their bare hands, and the system that worked overtime to make sure you never knew their names. Let us start with the moment nobody talks about. November 18th, 1803. A battle called Vertières in a small colony called Saint-Domingue, which you know today as Haiti. A man named Jean-Jacques Dessalines looked out at a French army, Napoleon's army, and crushed them. Not slowed them down, not survived them, crushed them. The most powerful military force in Europe, sent by the man who had just conquered half the world, was beaten by formerly enslaved black people on a Caribbean island. That battle ended the French campaign to retake the colony. And on January 1st, 1804, Dessalines stood in the city of Gonaives and declared something that had never happened before in all of recorded history: a free black republic. Born out of a successful revolution led by enslaved people, the first one ever. He renamed it Haiti, the old Taino word for the land. And then he did something else. He wrote to Thomas Jefferson. He told Jefferson that his people, just like Americans, were tired of paying with their blood for a mother country that treated them like animals. They were fighting for their freedom, he said. Jefferson never wrote back, not once, because Thomas Jefferson owned people, and a free black nation was his worst nightmare walking. Dessalines was born into slavery around 1758. He worked in the fields. He had nothing. He became everything. On October 6, 1804, in the city of Le Cap, he was crowned Emperor Jacques I of Haiti, a man who was once owned, now owning a throne. That is the story they do not put in the history books, and what happened next is exactly why. Less than 2 years later, in October of 1806, Dessalines was assassinated, not by the French, not by the Spanish, by members of his own administration, including two men named Alexandre Pétion and Henri Christophe, who had been plotting against him. He was killed at a place called Pont Rouge, north of Port-au-Prince. They cut him down in the road, and then history itself cut him down again, slowly, quietly, by giving all the glory of the Haitian Revolution to Toussaint Louverture and leaving Dessalines in the footnotes. There is a reason for that. Toussaint was seen as more moderate, more diplomatic, easier for Europeans to stomach. Dessalines was radical. He was uncompromising. He looked at the system and said, "Burn it." Until very recently, not a single English-language biography of Dessalines had ever been written. Not one. The man who led the only successful revolution of enslaved people in world history, and English-speaking historians could not find the time. You see how erasure works? It is not always a bonfire. Sometimes it is just silence. But here is where it gets bigger than one man. Because the killing of Dessalines did not stop Haiti. It continued. And one of the men who helped bring Dessalines down, Henri Christophe, built something that still stands today. Hold that thought for a second. And this is exactly how they get away with it, burying these stories before people can connect the dots. Hey family, real talk. YouTube has shut down channels for telling exactly these kinds of stories. So I need you to find us off this platform. Go to blackstories-untold.com, join our mailing list, and make sure we stay connected no matter what they do. Now, back to what happened. Henri Christophe was born on October 6, 1767, in the British colony of Grenada. He was born enslaved. By the time he was 12 years old, he was reportedly serving as a drummer boy with the Chasseurs Volontaires de Saint-Domingue, a regiment of free black men and people of color who crossed the Atlantic to fight alongside Americans in the Revolutionary War. In 1779, that 12-year-old boy reportedly took fire at the siege of Savannah, Georgia. A monument in Savannah today honors the regiment. Right there at the base, a drummer boy, representing the 12-year-old Henri Christophe. He was fighting for American freedom before America ever thought about fighting for his. He joined the Haitian Revolution and became one of its most critical generals. He helped fight off the French, and after Dessalines fell, Christophe took control of the northern part of Haiti. On March 26, 1811, he declared a kingdom. He crowned himself King Henri I, and then he built. He built 6 palaces. He built 8 chateaux. He built a fortress on a mountaintop called the Citadelle La Ferrière that took up to 20,000 workers and 15 years to complete. The walls rose 40 meters from the top of the mountain. He filled it with 365 cannons. He built it to make sure France could never come back. This was not a man building a symbol. This was a man building a wall between his people and enslavement. The Citadel still stands today. UNESCO made it a World Heritage Site in 1982. Europe will honor the building, but not the Black King who built it. Notice that. And here is where everything connects. Because the full picture of what they did to Haiti, what they did to Christophe, to Dessalines, to every Haitian who fought for that island, is not just about bullets or silence. It is about money. It is about the most brazen financial crime in modern history. And most people alive today have never heard of it. In 1825, France sent 14 warships armed with 528 cannons to sit off the coast of Haiti. They were not there for a visit. The message was simple: pay us or we come back. France's King Charles X issued an order. Haiti would have to pay 150 million francs, representing 300% of Haiti's entire annual economic output, as compensation to France. Compensation for what? For the enslaved people Haiti had freed. France was billing Haiti for the bodies of its own citizens. They used the Code Noir, a French law that assigned monetary value to enslaved human beings, to calculate the bill. The formula said that enslaved workers made up between 30 and 60% of plantation property value. So they added up the bodies, they put a price on the people, and they aimed the cannons and said, pay. Haiti paid. Because what choice did they have? They had just won their freedom with their blood. They were not going to surrender it at gunpoint. But to make the first payment of 30 million francs, Haiti had to borrow from a consortium of European banks, including the Rothschilds. The bankers took 6 million francs off the top just as their fee. So Haiti borrowed 30 million, handed over 30 million, and kept 24 million, which was barely enough to cover the first installment. This is what financial warfare looks like. You win the war. Then they make you fund the peace in their favor. The United States did not even recognize Haiti as a real country until 1862, 58 years after independence. Southern enslavers in Congress blocked recognition for decades because they did not want enslaved people on their own plantations to hear that a black revolution had worked. Jefferson started the Wall of Silence. An entire generation of American politicians kept it standing. And that debt from France? Haiti kept paying and paying. By 1914, more than 3/4 of Haiti's entire national budget was going to pay off European banks. 3/4. Think about what that means. No roads, no schools, no hospitals. Not because Haitians were not capable, because every dollar was going to France. Haiti did not make the last payment until 1947, 143 years after independence. The New York Times ran an investigation in 2022, estimating the total modern equivalent of what Haiti paid at roughly $560 million, taken from the first free black republic in the Western Hemisphere, extracted at gunpoint for the crime of being free. This is the pattern. Do not let anyone tell you Haiti is poor because of some inherent failure. Haiti is poor because the world decided a successful black kingdom was a threat, and it bankrupted that kingdom on purpose. But they did not only do it to Haiti. That is the thing. Across the Caribbean, wherever black people built something real, the same playbook ran. Jamaica, the mountains of Jamaica. Deep in the Blue Mountains on the eastern side of the island, a woman named Nanny, Queen Nanny, built a stronghold called Nanny Town. She was born around 1686, reportedly Asante, taken from what is now Ghana and brought to Jamaica in chains. She got free, and then she built a community of Windward Maroons, formerly enslaved people, majority West African, living free in the mountains of a British colony. She fought a guerrilla war against the British from the 1720s into the 1740s that historians call the First Maroon War. The British attacked Nanny Town again and again. They could not hold it. Every time they took it, the Maroons took it back. In 1734, the British finally destroyed Nanny Town. They burned it down and renamed the new town they built there after one of their own governors. Wiped her name right off the map. But they could not wipe out the Maroons. The British sued for peace. On April 20th, 1740, they signed a treaty giving Nanny and her followers 500 acres of land and their freedom. A colonial power signing a treaty with a black woman and her people, granting their independence because they could not beat them on the battlefield. In 1975, Jamaica declared Nanny a national hero. She is the only woman on that list. Her face is on the Jamaican $500 note. They know. The people who lived it know. And in the Western Mountains, Captain Cujo was running another sovereign Maroon territory. Born in Africa, brought to Jamaica as a boy, he became the undisputed leader of the Leeward Maroons around 1720. For nearly 20 years, his people fought British forces and protected their territory. In 1739, the British signed a separate treaty with Cujo, 1,500 acres, political autonomy, no taxes. A Caribbean black leader negotiating as an equal with the British crown. The British did not do that out of kindness. Toussaint Louverture himself said it plainly, years later. In Jamaica, there are black people in the mountains who forced the English to make treaties with them. He said, "I am black like them. I know how to make war." Here is what you need to take from all of this. Dessalines, Christophe, Nanny, Cujo. These were not isolated individuals who got lucky. They were proof of a pattern. And the response to them was also a pattern. Assassination, debt, blockades, silence, renaming their towns, removing their faces from the history books. Every single time a black ruler won, really won, the Western world mobilized to make sure that victory could not last, could not spread, and could not inspire anyone else. Because one free black kingdom was dangerous. A world that knew black kingdoms were possible was catastrophic. For the plantation system, for the colonial economy, for every man in a wig who had built his fortune on black bodies. The erasure was not accidental. It was self-preservation. They erased these kings because a world where black people knew these kings existed was a world that was harder to control. And that is exactly why you are watching this right now. Because knowing is the beginning. Dessalines declared independence on January 1st, 1804, and Haiti's national anthem is called La Dessalinienne, the Song of Dessalines. His people never forgot him, even when the world tried. You should not forget him either. You should not forget any of them. This was Black Stories Untold, and as always, thanks for watching. If you want more stories like this, click the video on your screen now.